Everyone are requested to please write your details in the chat box. We'll wait for another minute for all the other participants to join in, and then we'll proceed with the lecture on cybersecurity. So we'll start quickly. Okay, so let us start our today's lecture, which is on cybersecurity and law. Coming back to the previous lecture, we have, if you remember, we had started with the cyber criminal, where actually we have discussed upon what are the three types of cyber criminal. Starting with, we have seen we have hungry for recognition. We have seen who are the cyber criminal and how they are hungry for recognition, that we have seen. Next, if you remember, we have seen a cyber criminal that were not interested in recognition. So in that, we have seen there were financially motivated hackers whose main intention is not for the recognition but to earn money, right? Our intention is not to become popular but to earn livelihood. So the main intention was to earn money. So that we have seen, that was type 2. And then we have seen cyber criminal type 3, where we discussed about the insider attack. Now in that, I have given an example about the taken an example of a movie Aakhe, and in that I have shown you that how in that movie Amitabh Bachchan, which was a bank manager of Vilas Rao Jefferson Bank, has actually looted a bank with the three blind people. If you remember, there was Elias, Arjun, and with Vishwas. There were three different characters played by Akshay Kumar, Paresh Rawal, and Arjun Rampal. I hope if you remember, I've given that attack example. And then we have started with understanding about the next part, which are the classification of cybercrime. And in cybercrime, I started with an email spoofing and phishing. So in today's lecture, we are going to proceed again with from whatever we left last time. That is the classification of cybercrime. In that, we have started with the first classification, that was the cybercrime against an individual. Okay, so this is what we have seen last time, and from today, from where we are going to proceed further. Now, if you remember, last time we have seen that how a cyber crime against the individual can be done with. Now, one point I want to tell at this point of time is that this classification of cyber crime is very important for an exam point of view, where it covers maximum kind of a cyber crime that is being performed. So I'm going to discuss each one of them in detail, and all are requested that whatever type that we take with, whatever attacks that we are going to discuss with, it's better if you can just note it down. If you have a book and a pen with you, uh, you can at least note down the topic or different attacks that is possible, because we are going to see a lot of attacks and lot of techniques, and it might be possible that you might forget at a later point of time, right? So if you want it, you can just write the name, or if you wanted, you can write the one line explanation, so that at the time of revision you do not have to again revise, or do not have to actually watch the entire video to understand what we have discussed in the class. So if you can write it one line each of in your own words, that will make yourself remember in your exam point of time, right? No need to write the entire theory or the entire paragraph about the explanation, but at least if you can write one line explanation of whatever attacks that we take with, so that you can remember, and then you can just, whenever you read the concepts or whenever you are preparing for your exams, you understand what we have taken so far in the exam. Clear? So starting with the first classification that we have seen last time, it was an email spoofing. Now, email spoofing, as we have seen, that email spoofing is nothing but a spoofed email, is one that appears to come from an one source, but actually it has been sent from another source. Now, when I'm saying that email spoofing is something that appears to originate from one source, but actually has been sent from another source, it means, इसका मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब है कि someone or the someone else can actually use your email ID to send a mail to a receiver, and the recipient will always feel it has been sent from the person who is been claiming from a send field. So whenever we send an email, what actually comes to the receiver is, or the recipient is, that who has sent an email, his name or his email ID has been displayed. But then if somehow, if I use a spoofed email, then I'm using someone else's email ID to send an email to a victim, the victim has to believe that it has originally been sent from a trusted source, and the attack is possible. Now, do you think that email spoofing is possible? If one of you can say yes or no. Do you think it's really possible I can use someone else's email ID to send an email to a victim? Sajjad is saying yes, it is possible. Okay. Who else thinks that it is possible? Yes, Nausin is also saying it is possible. Okay. So I have my intelligent students with me now with me. So I think they are saying that it is possible. What about others? Others think it is not possible? I will again repeat the question. Can I use someone else's email ID to send an email to someone else? It means मैं किसी का email ID use करके किसी को mail send कर सकता हूँ. So for example, Nausin, I'm taking Nausin's email ID to send a mail to anyone of his friends. Okay, everyone is writing it is possible. Okay, uh, how it is possible? Anyone, if you can tell the answer. I can see most of the answer is in yes, that it is possible. I am eagerly and want to know how it is possible. And if it is possible, how my recipient will know that it is only from a sender who is sending. So even in an organization where email is only the way of communication, a formal communication happens through an email. But then again, if it is not been possible to verify the identity of a sender, then don't you think it is not a good option to go towards an email? Anyone who can think how it is possible? How can I make something so that my mail will reach to a recipient and he'll have to believe that it has been sent from the original sender? Okay, I think only computer students are answering. I have the students from different stream as well. They are from EXTC and ATRX and other streams. So even you can answer that. What do you think? Now I'll tell you the answer. So probably, if we have seen that is happening, then we can consider that yes, it is possible. But if we haven't seen, how can we make sure? Ali Ansari and Siddiqui Asim, your mic are turned on. Please, if you can just turn off your mic. I'm getting an echo of yours. Might have seen that, but there are a lot of students again from other streams as well. So, and as we've discussed last time, I'll show it to you again about how the email spoofing attack can be done. So, coming back to email spoofing, you can actually do an email spoofing attack, and you can make your victim to send an email which actually have been generated from another source. So that was we have discussed on an email spoofing. Next, will be speaking about the phishing attack. Now, in phishing attack, what actually happens is phishing attack is a kind of an attack which actually is used to send a message or the false message to receiver, and he feels that it is been generated from the origin source, and then he has to enter his details. So again, on that we have said last time. So today we are going to proceed with the next type of an attack, which is called as cyber defamation. So if you can just write the word with you. First we have discussed, which was on email spoofing. The second that we discussed, which was on a phishing. Third one we have discussed, which was on a spamming last time, where we have seen that how the people create an electronic spam to send in message. And now the fourth one we are discussing is on cyber defamation. CYBERDEFAMATION, cyber defamation. Now, what is cyber defamation? Let me tell you. Now, cyber defamation is where the intention is to harm the reputation of a person. What is the meaning of cyber defamation? Its intention is to harm the reputation of a person. Let me start a screen sharing that will actually help you to understand the same. So let me do that. So now, as you can see, this is in cyber defamation, which is actually its intention is to harm the reputation of a person, right? Now, okay. So now, when I'm saying about defamation, it is the intention is to harm the reputation of a person. Now, what is this intention is to harm the reputation of a person? Now, I will explain you that the intention, how you can harm the reputation of a victim. You can harm the intention with the help of spoken word. You can actually harm the reputation of a person using action, or you can harm the reputation of a person with the body language. Now, to make it more clear, I will tell you a practical example where actually it has been used so that you can understand it very, very easily, right? So now, coming back to an explanation. Uh, so one example I can set it with you about the same is in further slides. Now, the next example about the classification is on cyber stalking. Now, what is cyber stalking and harassment? Cyber defamation, we'll see an example later, but the intention is to harm the reputation of the person. And the fifth one, which we're discussing, is based on the cyber stalking. Now, cyber stalking is the use of the internet or the electronic means to harass the individual. So the main intention is to harass an individual. So that is what is the cyber stalking. I'll give an example. So for example, if you have been knowing the case of a Sushant Singh Rajput, right? So you embarrass the Sushant. You tell them that he used to consume drugs. So somehow you need to hamper the reputation of a person, and that comes where you make use to harass an individual. So as we've been knowing that it was actually being harassed, and that how actually it has been done with. So cyber stalking is doing the same. Apart from that, you can have embarrassing the victim, or you can empty the victim's bank account, or you can ruin his credit card or the credit limit. All these things comes under the cyber stalking. where it is the use of the internet to harass an individual, right? So another thing which you can harass an individual was a live example, which is again given in your reference book, which is of Nina Godbole book. She has also given one very good example that in the year of 2013, on January 2nd, 2013, James Allen, James Allen has threatened the victim by telling them that he has found his nude picture. He has told that he has found the nude picture of him on the internet, and he has also told that I will be actually going. I will be actually uploading all your pictures on the website. Now, as each one of us know that how individual will feel or what is their mindset if somebody tells you something like this. If somebody harasses you by saying that he's going to upload a nude picture of him or herself on the internet, so this was an example that was being used, and this was being done to harass an individual. And once you harass an individual, in the exchange you can steal a money, or you can take a lot of things from a victim. So that comes in the cyber stalking. So cyber stalking is actually the use of the internet or the electronic means to harass an individual, right? So if you can just write one line of this statement of the same so that you all can remember. So one, we discussed about the email spoofing, where a spoofed email is used to send a message from one source to another. Then we have seen a phishing attack. Phishing attack also demonstration I would be showing you probably in the next to next lecture about how phishing attack can be done. Third one is on a spamming, that we receive a lot of electronic spam on an email, that we also called as a bulk mail, that has been sent to a lot of people at the same time, and with an intention that some or the other person will click on that link and will reach to a web page which has been sent by a sender. So that is again a bulk email. Then we have seen a cyber defamation, where cyber defamation is used to harm the reputation of a person. Now, how a reputation of a person is damaged, that we are going to see it later. And the fifth one that we have told about is cyber stalking, where it is the use of an internet or any other only means to harass an individual. So which any which ways, if you are actually harassing an individual, that comes into cyber stalking. So if you can tell your victim that you have a photo of him, and you can upload on the pictures, and in exchange you can ask some money or some other information or some other details, that comes in the cyber stalking. Okay, any doubts so far? If you want, you can just make a one line note of each one of them, so that at the time of revision it will be easy for you to remember, because this normally comes in the classification of cybercrime, and this is what we are learning now, the first classification, that is a cybercrime against individual. I'll give you a minute's time so that you can note it down. Okay, let us proceed further. Now, in case of classification against, that is a cybercrime against individual, there is one more attack which we called it as the computer sabotage. Now, what is computer sabotage? Computer sabotage means it is used to disturb or used to hamper the computer. So it means somehow if you hamper the functionality of a computer, maybe by introducing virus, or maybe by introducing worms, or maybe by introducing logic bombs, maybe a time bomb, is called as a computer sabotage. It means whenever you hamper the functionality of a computer by any means, maybe by introducing a virus, or maybe by worms, or maybe a logic bomb, or maybe a time bomb, we call it as a computer sabotage, right? Now, anyone of you can just explain me what do we mean by each or the other terms? Now, when I'm saying you are actually hampering the functionality of a computer by introducing virus, I know each one of us nowadays know what is a virus, so I don't need to explain about what is a virus. Bombs. Now, what do you mean by logic bomb? Anyone who have heard the term of logic bomb or a time bomb? Anyone who might be knowing what is a logic bomb or a time bomb? Come on, students. Very good morning to all of you. I hope you are there in the class, correct? Are you all there? Acha, Ashish is saying no idea. Okay, no problem. At least you write no idea, so I can explain. I will not come to know whether you are understanding, if you know it, or if you do not know. Yes, Nausin is writing if a particular condition is satisfied is logic bomb. Very good answer, Nausin. If a particular condition is satisfied, correct. If you keep some criteria, or for example, if you have kept some uh, uh, if you just open if you open the link, for example, there can be a software, and if you just double click the software, or if for example if you just try to install the software, and for example if a certain particular condition is met, we call it as a logic bomb. Very good answer, Nosin. Mohit is writing logic bomb is a piece of code intentionally inserted into software. Yes, correct. So it is a set of a code that triggers due to a condition. So if a particular condition is met, logic bomb is occurs. So very good answer. So if you make use of a logic bomb, if you make a virus, if you make use of a worm, if you make a use of a time bomb, we call it as a computer sabotage. Now, if you remember, as an example of time bomb, you used to get a message. I don't know if you remember, if you know it or not. I used to get a message when I was probably in a school time. There was one message used to come that tomorrow at 12 p.m. Some rays are going to enter into the earth, so all of you are requested not to turn on the system. If you turn on the system, the virus will be downloaded on your machine and the computer will never start. Have you heard something on the other message? Have you ever received such kind of a message? I got a message, I got an email from someone some years back when I was a kid. I'm not receiving right now, but then I used to get some kind of an email which used to tell that some cosmographic rays or some rays have been entering into the earth tomorrow at 12 p.m. If you keep your machine turned on, then something or the other will occur to my system or my machine, and my machine will never start again. So if such kind of code is written that at particular directly at 12 a.m. something will happen to my code, so it is called as time bomb. When at particular time something or the another will happen to my system, that is called as a time bomb. So with the help of either by introducing virus, or with the help of worm, or maybe with the help of logic bomb, or maybe with the use of time bomb, we call it as a computer sabotage. It means something or another you make a use of it to hamper the functionality of your computer. Clear? So again, one more point you can add it, you can write it, that is a computer sabotage to hamper the functionality of the computer. I'll give you 10 seconds for you to just complete this, then we'll go to the next type. I hope you are writing somewhere, so that you know that in a classification against individual, uh, what are the different things that comes up, and you can make a note of it. Okay. Now, since we have seen computer sabotage, let me take you towards a next classification, that is the pornographic offense. Now, I hope with the word itself, you might have understood what do I mean by a pornographic offense, right? Uh, somebody or the other uploads any porn videos on the image of anyone on the internet, or make use as an offense that comes under the pornographic offenses. Probably this is a bigger crime that is be normally used by Nintendo with the small kids. The victim are the smaller kids. There are a group of people who actually make the small kids do such kind of an activity, and which is again a kind of a cyber crime. You cannot do that, right? So this is a cyber crime which is done to a particular individual, and that pornographic offense comes in it. So again, about the details about how that pornographic offense is done, I'll explain you with the help of an example, plus what are the different steps of a pornographic offense later. But just as an introduction, this is again and a crime that comes under the again an individual, where a cybercrime is targeted towards an individual. And the last part that comes into the individual cybercrime, that is the password sniffing. Now, what is password sniffing? It means the attacker will sniff the password. Now, for example, if the password has been sent from a sender to a receiver, and if the password is not in an encrypted format, if the password is sent in a plain text to a receiver, and if an attacker just logs into the one of the if wiretaps into the system and sniffs your credential, that is easily possible. So in case of a password sniffing, the attacker will sniff the password, right? Sniff का मतलब होता है सूंघना, right? So attacker will actually sniff the password. So that is again a crime that is targeted towards an individual. Is any one of you have ever worked on Wireshark? Have you ever heard the term Wireshark? There is a software named Wireshark. Did anyone of you have heard about a Wireshark ever? Say at least yes or no. Okay. Okay, very good. So you have heard about Wireshark, right? Okay. I think probably electronic student might have not heard with EXTC or the ETRX students. Uh, so what is what Wireshark used to do? It used to actually capture your packets and used to demonstrate or display about whatever packet that is flowing onto a network. So now, if for example, if some sender is sending a message to a receiver, and if that message is if that protocol is used as an HTTP, not HTTPS, and if that password has been sent from a source to a destination, you can actually sniff the password, and then you can actually see what the password is. So if we have time, if sometime we have a time, and if the time persists, I'll show you that how whenever you type the password on your browser, it can be captured by a Wireshark, and Wireshark can display your password. So somebody can sniff the password, and that password comes under the classification where which is targeted against an individual. Okay, so just revision about what we have done so far in the cybercrime against individual. We have taken about an email spoofing. Email spoofing is nothing but a spoofed email which actually seems to have appeared from one source but actually has been sent to another source, whose demonstration I will be showing it to you tomorrow in tomorrow's lecture. Not tomorrow, probably on Thursday. On Thursday, when we are going to have a lecture, at that time I would be showing you about an email spoofing demonstration. Next, we have seen a phishing attack, how phishing attack plays a vital role. Now, as each one of us know that, I have also told it to you last time, that phishing attack actually steals your user data, maybe your login credential or maybe your credit card numbers, and it one of the most popular kind of an attack even that is used even today, right? I've given an explanation also how nowadays we use a phishing attack, and probably during the COVID time, when every one of us know that getting a job is difficult, to sustain with the job is also difficult, and to earn and live in this situation is also difficult. During this pandemic situation, we are receiving a lot of phishing messages. uh, Probably you might get a message that your Paytm KYC is expired, kindly click here to update your KYC. And when you do that, you are actually asked with your username and the password, or maybe your credit card numbers or any other information, or maybe on a message you might receive a lot of messages that kindly call on this number to update your KYC, or similar kind of a message you receive, right? uh, I'll also share with you one live example that has happened with one of my neighbors. uh, Happened with that he has received a message from a DMart. So he has done a transaction on a DMart, and with a DMart he has actually done an online transaction. After he has paid, he has received a message on a mobile phone that this much amount has been debited with a transaction on DMart. And then he has raised a complaint with a consumer forum, and somebody has received a message that yes, we will reverse you your amount that has been debited, kindly click here and enter your details. That person has entered the details and more amount was debited from his account. So this is a similar kind of a scenario that happens with every one of us. And research says that 30% of the phishing attack has happened in 2016. If you search on the internet, you will find out this figure that 30% of the phishing attack happened in 2016, and these phishing messages were opened, out of which 23% was a cybercrime that was done in 2015 as well. And out of this 30% of the phishing attack that took place in 2016, 70% of the attack were a combination of phishing and hacking. Just make a guess. 70%. I mean 70% of the phishing attack were happened during that point of time. Right? So 70% of the attack were based on the phishing and hacking. So that was the second type. That is the phishing attack. Third one is a spamming, where people who create electronic spam are called as spammers. Fourth is the cyber defamation, where the intention is to harm the reputation of the person. Now, how you will harm the reputation of a person, and what is the advantage you will get after harassing the reputation? We'll see next time in the next slide. Then we have seen the cyber stalking, where we are using an internet or any other electronic means to harass an individual. Then we have taken about computer sabotage, which is used to hamper the functionality of a computer, the pornographic offense, and the password sniffing. So this all the things that comes into the classification, which is targeted against individual. Now let us go to the second classification type, which is the cybercrime against property. Now, when I'm saying the cybercrime against property, I'm speaking about first one, that is the credit card fraud. Now, when I'm saying about a credit card fraud, it happens with anyone. Now, why it comes under the properties? Because this credit card is actually with each and every individual of us. So this is again one of the fraud that can happen with. So for example, if I can steal your credit card, and if I can do an unauthorized transaction on a credit using your credit card, it is a credit card fraud. If I know your CVV number, if I know your credit card details, if I know your expiry date of your card, then easily I can do a credit card fraud. Right? And even I can tell you in this point of time also, there are some or the other people who might be sharing their credit card information with others. Probably we share this detail with our friend. If a friend asks us that please Amazon mein aaj sale chal raha hai, if you have an SBI card, you get 10% discount. If you have a credit card, you have 10% discount. So you do that. So what we do it with, we give our details to our friend. ठीक है, अपना friend ही है ना, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, उसे credit card information दे दिया तो भी. And this is how we actually land ourselves into a crime. So I think I can see it's 11:50 on my watch. I just received a message that you have a resume building webinar at 12. Okay. You have a resume buildings webinar at 12. So I am just ending my lecture here. We'll again proceed further with the intellectual property fraud and internet time theft in the next lecture. Plus, at the same time, we'll be doing a demonstration or email spoofing as well, where I will be showing you how you can make use of the email spoofing. We end the lecture here. Meanwhile, if you have not updated your details, kindly do that. All of you are requested to kindly update your details, your name, your UIN number, your name, and the roll number in the chat box in the given format. And then again, we'll meet up on Thursday, where we'll be continuing forward with the lecture on cybercrime. If you have any doubt, you can raise it, or else we'll end the session. Yes, the next lecture, Mohit, is on Thursday at 1:30. Correct. You have an updated timetable. I hope that updated timetable is circulated with you all, so you can check the timetable. In the timetable, it is showing as 1:30 to 2:30 on Thursday. So we'll be meeting again at that point, at that time. So there are a lot of things you need to remember when we are speaking about the classification of the cybercrime. In each cybercrime, we are going to again discuss each one of them in detail. So thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Again, we'll meet up on Thursday with something more interesting on cybercrime. Thank you so much. I hope you all have added your details in the chat box. We'll just end it in a minute's time, and then you can join back at 12 p.m. a session which is again given for you on a resume building. Thank you so much, everyone. You can leave now. Thank you for joining in. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Any questions if you have, you can quickly write in the chat box, or else we'll end the meeting now.